Hey y'all, welcome to At the Table podcast. My name is Fikayo and thank you so much for having me in your ears. Today at the table, we are super excited to welcome Vinod. Vinod is a tech education advocate, cybersecurity mentor, and a startup visionary. He is the founder of JumpStart to Tech, an awesome platform offering personalized roadmaps and mentorship for people eager to dive into the tech industry. Vinod is all about empowering others through personalized tech education, bridging the gap between education and empowerment. This episode is truly inspiring and it is packed with advice and insights for the tech world, so you definitely do not want to miss this. It is perfect for anyone who's looking to break into tech, seeking tech career advice, or is interested in cybersecurity and startups. You know, this episode means a lot to me as well because I actually went to school for cybersecurity and I came out and I couldn't find any jobs. So this podcast would have been a really great help for me 2-3 years ago, and I'm hoping that it will be a great help for you. Please do not forget to rate, leave a comment, and share your thoughts below. Be sure to check out Vinod. All of his information is in the description. Are you ready? Welcome to At the Table podcast. Welcome to At the Table, Vinod. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good, thank you. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We really appreciate you being here. All right. So, my very first question that I ask all my guests on here is, what is your story?
Yeah, so my story is a bit different. So when I was young, I was always the kid who was made fun of. And I was always like that geek and nerd in school, right? I had big glasses, I had braces. I was that kid who was by himself. But I didn't realize like that actually shaped me into the person I am. Like I was the person who wanted to fit in with everybody. But then when I got more into my senior year of high school, I started to realize being myself is extremely important. So
Mhm.
I went into college and then I started my own clothing company at 17. And then I just wanted to save money to get out of my parents' house because I like being independent. So at 18, I moved out. I had a clothing company, did really, really well. But then passions changed and I got into tech. So I went to Towson University
Mhm.
and I realized that, tech is something that really, really fascinated me. So I was doing tech and then I came across a nonprofit called Pass It On and I was helping them teach adults, veterans, and students on how to get into tech. And that was really, really fascinating for me. So, I was teaching tech. And then when you asked me the question, like, do I like passing down my knowledge? That was the way of me passing down my knowledge to people. So I was teaching tech and then I graduated with a degree in IT. Then I got into actually teaching cybersecurity, some computer science at an underserved school in Baltimore. And I found that job immensely rewarding for me. And then I took that and went to more to an IT management route. So, most people's stories, it starts off with getting a job in the corporate or government sector,
Mhm.
but taking that teaching route and just going into education, like changed my life forever.
Oh, wow. That is so good. I'm so excited that you agreed to come on the podcast. And I'm really excited to dive deep into all of those nitty gritty things that you mentioned and also the lessons
Mhm.
that you've learned along the way. So, we're going to take a few steps back. And the first question is, what inspired you to start your career in tech education, particularly teaching teaching cybersecurity to underserved students?
So there's really no particular answer to this. It just came about to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already teaching when I was in Salma. I was teaching for a nonprofit. So teaching tech wasn't the outcome I was supposed to have after I graduated. My parents said either you're going to corporate or government, and when you grow up in like an Indian household, it's like STEM field or nothing, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like, so it's like I was either going to corporate, or I'm going to government. I see there's either one or two, but I went
Mm-hmm.
into like teaching, and it presented itself, like let's say it presented itself,
Yeah.
and it was a hard decision to make because I was teaching at a school in which, I don't have any like actual teaching experience. Like, I didn't come from an education major. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
something totally different from me. Like I don't even know how I made through 1 year, but I made through 1 year and it was extremely, extremely rewarding. But
Yeah.
it just presented itself to me. So I really don't have a definite answer. But I think blocking all those external voices when people was like, don't be a teacher and stuff, it really helped out a lot because I actually took what I did and I got a lot of opportunities when I was teaching.
Oh, okay. So I think that is so incredible. I've always, in some way, shape, or form, really wanted to be a teacher myself, but I just never have found myself in that field. And I'm just curious, like, what was that first year like? Could you just speak on that? And what lessons did you
Oh,
learn? Like, what was the exciting part? What made you happy? What were things that you didn't expect to happen that happened? Like, I'm so curious.
yeah, so it was really, really it was different, right? It's not it's
Hmm.
not it's not a job. It's not like your regular corporate or government job. Teaching is
Yeah.
is different. I found it really rewarding because I had a really, really strong purpose behind why I was there too, and that purpose. And I was still, I mean, I'm still young, I was 24, but like when I was 22, I was really eager to pursue my career forward. I felt as though like I had to use teaching and I had to leverage it in some way, shape, or form. So when I got into the C school, it was really, really different, right? I had to learn things differently, even teaching the IT concepts because I wasn't just teaching. First and foremost, I'm not teaching regular IT courses. I'm teaching CompTIA certifications.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I'm teaching college level certifications to high schoolers from ninth to 12th grade, and that was
Mhm.
already a challenge that presented itself. It's like how do you break down like college and adult level courses to a high schooler
Right.
and have them understand? It was a bit difficult. The end goal was to definitely get them certified, and it actually
Mhm.
ended up getting two students certified. But
Wow.
it was a big challenge. It was just like breaking down the concepts to them, and they're still high school,
Right.
so their attention span isn't always there. Just like adults, like our attention span isn't always there either. So,
Mhm.
I was really determined that I can at least, give them my knowledge and then be able to share what I did at different conferences. So, I had a really, really extremely great supervisor. His name was Andrew Fahm. He really looked out for me. I still talk to him every single day. Like he was the one that really believed in me.
Yeah.
And he was sending me out to conferences by myself. Even when I'm a first year teacher, like I'm like 3 months into a job and I'm going to a conference, I'm speaking. Like not a lot of people get opportunities like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. I really believe in the power of mentors, and it's something that I echo from episode to episode, but really you can't get there alone. And I think it's from mentors to people like you who benefit from mentors who will go on and mentor, and then the mentors or the mentees mentor, and like that is really just life changing. Now, I'm going to be referencing Jumpstart to Tech a lot, but before I start referencing it, I do want you to tell us, what is Jumpstart to Tech?
So jumpstart to tech is a way of life. It's basically in a sense what we do. We have developed personalized roadmaps to
Mhm.
jumpstart and advance individual careers in tech by tailoring each roadmap to a specific tech role and domain. As we know, a lot of people go into college not even knowing what they're actually doing in college. They're feeling lost. They're feeling stuck. They don't know what to do next in their career. So having a personalized approach to tech is extremely important. I tell people that all the time. You gotta have a personalized and tailored approach to tech. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead of your career. So Jumpstart to Tech honestly started when I was teaching at that school. Like
Mhm.
I'm really grateful for that too because I was able to refine my business through working at a full-time job. And I tell people that all the time. Like, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to like say you didn't work any full-time job and you became a self-made entrepreneur without working any job. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
you can find your company by working at a full-time job, figuring out what the issue is and
Mhm.
building a business based on that issue.
Yeah.
So I really feel though it's just a way of like helping people get careers in tech. And Jumpstart to Tech isn't really just Jumpstart to Tech. Like I want to do Jumpstart to rentals. I want to do Jumpstart to estates. Like I really want to create an empire with this.
Right.
But it all starts with Jumpstart the Tech though.
Yeah, that is amazing. And it specifically resonates with me because I went to school and I did all 4 years of undergrad studying cybersecurity and getting this ABET certification. And I don't even work in cybersecurity or IT at all now. And and you're right. I literally wrote it down. You said personalized roadmap into tech because when I thought that like by the time I would graduate, the jobs would just be there. That all I had to do was apply and maybe go to a few interviews and I was fine. But I remember senior year, I was applying and applying and applying and nothing would grab. So it's
Yeah.
definitely a resource that looking back, I definitely could have used. And I really appreciate that you offer that resource now. That's amazing. I'm curious, could you share a success story from your work with Jumpstart to Tech and like one that just stands out to you?
Yeah, most definitely. I think I have a lot of success stories to share, and success story can even be a testimonial. Like a lot of people always tell me who work with Jumpstart Tech that they finally have a path moving forward. They understand what they're doing. They understand how to move forward in their career. That's the biggest thing. So,
Mm-hmm.
if we're getting very specific, like last week, one of my clients from Canada just landed an internship,
Yes.
and that was really really important for me because that was an out of state client, that's like out the country.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't even my plans. I didn't even think about scaling out the country, but it just happened.
Yeah.
So that plus a client in Virginia who she got her CompTIA Security Plus. Like when we first started talking, like she was so lost in cybersecurity, right?
Yeah.
She didn't. She was coming from like I don't know. Well, I don't want to get it wrong, but she was coming from a major that was non-tech related.
Mm-hmm.
So she ended up going into tech. Listened to my advice, got her Security Plus. She got into an apprenticeship program now. So those little wins, it really really adds up.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Could you give us one tip for like a student who would be an ideal candidate for your program?
So for a student who wants to be an ideal candidate for my program,
Uh-huh.
it's first and foremost you have to be willing to to go through with the process. Meaning that I tell people all the time, I can offer you the roadmap, I can offer you all the tools, all the guidance, but you have to be the one willing to put in the work, kid. And anybody who wants to work with me, they're just kidding. I just need to see that you're willing to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't, first and foremost, we don't take everybody on as a client either. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why we have a discovery call to see who's qualified to be a part of the program. Because what the thing is, we don't. It's more than money to us. We want to make sure that we see success stories for our clients. So
Right.
we want to make sure that the client is willing to put the work in, a person who has an interest in getting into the tech field as well. And if you're not coming from, and if you're already in the tech field, if you're looking to figure out some sort of direction moving forward, then that works too. We don't really have any age limit. Like, most businesses, they have a target market, right? Like at this specific age, this is the age that you should target. Our business, we really target anybody, to be honest. I mean, not under 18. We try to keep it, we try to keep it college students and above. So like anybody who wants to just get into tech, who's already in tech,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody who's willing to actually learn and go through with the process, that's all we're looking for.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what do you talk about during your discovery calls? Because I'm just imagining that there's someone that's listening to this right now who could probably use your services. So what does a discovery call look like?
So a discovery call is just a way of us getting to know the person. Basically, we just assess them, like what they want to do in tech, where do they see themselves in the future, and what challenges they're currently facing. And with those three questions, we just understand what they want to do in tech. And like I said, we just basically assess what they want to do in tech, and we also get it more about their background, what background do they come from? Do they already have the tech experience?
Mm-hmm.
Do they already have any certification that can help advance their career, not just jumpstart, but advance their career? Majority of the clients that come with us, we're willing to take on. but there's also have been like clients where we felt as though like it just wasn't the right fit for them right now, you know?
Right.
They were just a bit too like they were just like too like hesitant to move on, you know what I mean? And I
Right.
understand for sure, like, and when somebody's selling you something, like of course you're gonna be hesitant, but majority of my clients who willing to, to move on with the process of what we're doing for them, they found success and that's the ones we're willing to work with, you know?
Oh, that's
And
good.
I add something crazy thing about it is that one of my clients who was in my high school
Hmm.
who's now in college. He actually is one of my clients now.
Oh, wow.
Saw a video of me he saw a video of JumpStart Tech on TikTok, and he reached out to me, and he immediately got to work. And you see, those are the people that I want to work with. The people who are willing to take control and wanting to see change in their lives. You know.
Right. Right. That is amazing. That is amazing. So, do you do like I can assume that probably the resource comes with the roadmap, of course, but do you do
Yeah.
resume building?
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
we help with resume building, we help with interview prep, we help with job placement. We help with all of that. As we said, we're building more services alongside Jumpstart Tech where we can offer internships and job placements. But
Mm-hmm.
right now we're taking everything for what it is and we're just trying to build. Like I said, everything is levels to it. Like I don't want to skip levels. I want to take everything not slow and steady, but take every I don't
Right.
want you don't want to scare
Intentional
you don't want
steps.
yeah, intentional stuff. You don't want to scale your business extremely fast. I want to
Right.
make sure I get real good data behind JumpStart and Tech,
Mm-hmm.
get really good insights and engagements, and then I'm gonna start building more partnerships.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is amazing. So then you leverage
Yeah,
databases like LinkedIn,
yes,
Indeed.
yes.
Okay, that's really impressive. So, how do you balance your time between teaching and running a startup?
Uh, Balancing my time, there really is no balancing my time. Let me put it in perspective.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm in a master's program. I
Yeah.
teach on the side. I work a full-time job. And then I also like have other things to do. But balancing my time can vary day by day. So more majority of people they have like a schedule, right? They have a
Hmm.
strict schedule. I operate a little bit differently. Like I write down things I have to get done for the week and I do it as I go. And then sometimes if things change.
Right.
But I try at least some steps that I do is like I turn off my phone an hour before I sleep. I turn off my phone. I try to stay at least like 3 to 4 hours of phone screen per day. Even at that,
Hmm.
things that else I do, I decompress. I like to take walks. I like to take long walks sometimes. And I think that's my favorite thing. I like to take a lot of walks. I think that's something that really helps me out a lot. Like I've been a nature boy since growing up. So like I really like take a long walks. I like being by the water. And then last but not least is like unless you staying off my phone, that's the biggest thing that I
Yeah.
found that a lot of people our age and everybody's struggling with the phone these days. Like it can definitely corrupt your mind. So I tell people all the time, like stay off those social medias and stuff because you never know what that could like do to your mental health, you know?
Absolutely. I live a very, very busy life like you actually. I
Mm,
run this podcast and you also have a podcast. But yeah, I run
yeah,
this
man.
podcast. I have my own little business. I am in my master's program. I work full time. And people ask me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I cut the fat. In social media and being on your phone really is fat. Before you know it, you've spent 3, 4 hours on TikTok or on Instagram scrolling, and it just takes up a lot of time. So I don't know, like it's just comforting to hear that. It reassures the things that I'm already doing, and I'm also a very big nature person. I'm always trying to go on log walks. I'm always trying to be outside, so it just reaffirms the things that I'm already doing. I'm curious, what personal qualities do you have that you believe has contributed the most to your success in education and also in entrepreneurship?
I'm not afraid to speak up. If I
Mm-hmm.
feel as though something is wrong, I'll speak up about it. I think definitely a lot of people they like to they don't speak up, they feel as though something is wrong or something is unethically done.
Mm,
They're
yeah.
not willing to speak up. If I feel as though something is wrong or somebody's not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or I feel as though something is not being done the right way, I'm gonna speak up and I'm gonna get to the resolution for it. Like one thing I've never been afraid of is like is losing my job. Like that's never been something like it used to cross my mind, but it didn't cross my mind because I feel as though one thing that I have is if I feel as though like something is gonna happen, I'm gonna definitely find 100 ways to make sure that there's a solution to it, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let down on that. So whether it takes up my whole day or it takes up 2 days, I'm gonna put the fire out. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that, and I definitely think like having confidence in myself. I've spoken in front of stages of 200, 300 people. I've done things where I'm an extroverted person, you know, so
Yeah.
I can go to anybody and I can talk to anybody for hours. And like I'm not extrovert to everyone, but we're in a conference setting. I'm always looking to network with people, could get people's LinkedIn and stuff. People see that drive in me, and when people see that drive in you, they're willing to invest in you. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So just for the listener and for clarity, I think I heard you say being proactive, being confident, the grit. What else? I don't know.
Mm, so what else? I definitely think I'm just being myself. It sounds a lot. It sounds very cliche, but it's honestly just being myself. Like everybody have their personality of their own, and like
Mm-hmm.
I would even put it in stand like when you act like somebody or not, people can sniff that. You know,
Yeah.
people can sense that. You know.
Yeah.
And that's why I tell people just be yourself. And like me, I don't drink or smoke. Like that's something that I just don't do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I may have friends who drink, you know. But it's like I may go out to my friends at the bar, at the lounge. It's like, B, why you not drinking? It's because I don't drink, and like I stand by that, you know.
Yeah.
And I definitely think like that's important, like being able to stand by those firm decisions and being able to not feel peer pressure. There's been times where like I went out and like my friends got, it's your birthday, you gotta be like, I'm not doing it or no, I'm okay. And they
Mm-hmm.
understand that they don't ask me again. But like just being strong with your decisions, you know?
Right. 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 That was really good. Thank you so much. So you mentioned earlier that you are Indian. I'm curious, how has your background and upbringing approached or influenced your approach to teaching and also mentoring? Has it?
Yeah, it actually has. I mean, I'm in like I'm in the community. I'm still a minority, so it's like I think growing up, things has been different. Like people viewed me as like I've automatically been viewed as somebody who's gonna go into the STEM field. You
Mm-hmm.
know, like my whole family was like, yeah, you're going into the STEM field. I personally went into the STEM field because I have an interest in it.
Right.
So, but my parents have never actually forced me to do tech. I did it because I've seen the opportunity in it and I liked it. But like being Indian and being in a school with predominantly a black community, I definitely had no problems if I'm being completely honest with you. Like everybody, like at the end of the day, I'm also a minority as well. And like
Mm-hmm.
I grew up around the black community my whole life. I grew up in PG County, you know?
Yeah.
Like I've been around the black community and I tell you a lot of the black community has really also helped me out extremely as well. So it's like I never really found any problems with it. I just felt as though like we all connect, we all get to get along together, and like we just all help each other. At the end, we're all humans, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
whether your skin color is black, white, or whatever it is, like we're all humans, but everybody should be treated with respect. So I just take my approach like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was really good. My last question, I think, is what would you tell yourself like 10 years ago? Like, what would you tell your younger self?
Definitely think I would have told my younger self to definitely stay on or stay. No, this is a good question. What would I tell my younger self? I think I would definitely tell my younger self to just do what you want to do in life. I think a lot of people are feel like the thing is a lot of people feel as though like people are judging them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the number one most fear that people have is like people fear being judged, you know.
Yeah.
And I tell people that all the time is like judgment, like you cannot let judgment define, you know what I mean? I was to really care what people thought about me teaching, I wouldn't have gotten to where I'm at in this position right now. And I'm
Mm.
still growing every single day. But
Yeah.
like, yeah, at least for now, like I wouldn't have got to where I'm at. So don't feel scared to feel judged. You know, at the end of the day, people judge you. That's a good thing. They're seeing something that you're different. You know, you're
Hmm.
doing something that's different. So being judged is actually a good thing if you think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? This segues into another great question, but what is the biggest lesson you think you've learned through your journey?
The biggest lesson I learned is fail fast.
Aha.
I I think that's something I tell you, like people think entrepreneur people think like what I've done and what other people done is easy. Like I have very close friends who are multimillionaires, you
Mm.
know? And I've had like my best friends who run e-commerce businesses and all that.
Yeah.
I've learned from them. Like the one thing about me is I'm such an open book. Like I my friends are my mentors. Like we're all mentors to each other. But the thing is, what my friend is doing is different from me. I'm writing my own story. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I'm extremely glad for what I'm doing right now. Like I'm in the tech space. I'm doing what makes me happy. Maybe e-commerce makes that person happy. So don't compare what you got going on with somebody else. I feel as though that's something like comparison is a thief of joy. So
Hmm.
like when you look at those type of people, don't be afraid of like, oh yeah, well how they get there, why can I get look at it and look motivation like how can I get to where they're at? You know what I mean?
Hmm. What lessons can I
So
learn from them?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was really good. Vinod, we have come to the end of the podcast, but I always end the podcast with one question, and it is, do you have any questions for me?
No, no, definitely. I really appreciate you for definitely having me on. It was definitely great. I want to join the second podcast. I tell people all the time if you are looking to jumpstart or advance your career in tech, please reach out at jumpstarttotech.com. I'll give Addie my links to my social profile as
Hmm.
well. You know, I'm definitely looking forward to doing a part two, maybe doing a collab with my team as well. So I'm definitely looking to help you in your career
Oh, that'd be
journey as
great.
well.
That'd be great. Well, I was gonna say after that was, well, like, how can we find you? Like,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
are you? Like, what do we do to like get in contact with you?
So on LinkedIn is Vinod Akunuri. I'm gonna drop the links. I'm gonna send Addie the links for you guys.
Mhm.
It's Vinod Akunuri. My website is JUMPSTART, the number two tech.com. That's my website where you can find everything that we do. And I honestly keep it very simple. I use LinkedIn and my website. That's all where you really need to find me at.
Mm.
I'll give I need the link. So if you ever want to contact me, those two ways are the way you can contact me.
All right. All right. That was so good. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and I am excited to have you back, Vinod.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much, Addy.
Thank you.